Hello friends, it is time for end of the year, start of the year content, and part of that is making my goals for 2025. However, I've decided to take a little bit of a hot take on this one. Maybe it's not, maybe you're all feeling the same way, but I will be making no reading goals for 2025. And you might think that's an odd thing to say when I have a Booktube channel, when most of my life is kind of centered around reading. But it's really not. Because looking back at last year's goals, I realized at the end of the day, I didn't actually complete them. There was a couple I did, but mostly I didn't get to those goals. Because a year is a long time, and in this community, there are so many things that pop up throughout the year and so many opportunities that come up, whether it readathon based, book club based, read along based, challenge based, whatever it is that pop up throughout the year that I don't know about right now. And then I feel like I'm not reaching my goals, even though I'm doing a lot of fun things. And at the end of the day, reading is supposed to be fun. And I don't want to feel the stress of having a list of goals that realistically, because of fun opportunities, I can't reach, or I don't get to do the fun opportunities because they don't fit into these goals that I arbitrarily set in December. Realistically, without reading goals, I will still read a ton of books next year. This year, I am currently sitting at about 195 books. I will reach my goal of 200. I will not be setting my Goodreads goal as 200 next year, but I will still read a lot of books. I love to read. I read every single day. I'm reading for content. I'm reading for readathons. I'm reading for Patreon things, book clubs, whatever. I'm reading. I will be reading. I don't need to have set goals to make sure that happens. So along with my decision of not making any specific reading goals this year, I will be setting my Goodreads goal at one book. I've seen a lot of people do that before. I know I'm not the only person who has set their Goodreads goal as one, but I just want to have a year where I let my reading kind of flow naturally. I've always been a TBR reader. And near the middle of the year, I started to suffer some burnout, whether that was overcommitting while also trying to do a ton of goals that I arbitrarily set, which I do think that was part of the problem, but also by not having room to read the books I really was excited to read. Near the end of the year, I've started to make some changes. I've been doing a lot more mood reading in the last couple of months. And if you look at the amount of books I've read, they have just been higher in November and December than they have been since about May. Because I'm finally giving myself a little bit of freedom within my reading. And I want to be able to go into next year with that. I want to be able to have the freedom to read as I have kind of feels to read. I also want to have more time to do things that are participatory in the community. I have met so many fabulous people, and there's so many creative people here on Booktube, and all of them have readathons and book clubs and read-alongs that I want to participate in. I want to be able to read those books, and those are hard to put into a goals situation because I don't really know what they're going to be as the year progresses through. And I want to have more room to participate in community events, whether that be through buddy reads, book clubs, read-alongs, all those things. No matter what that looks like, I want to have more room to participate. And I know that almost does sound like a goal, which it kind of is. It's not necessarily a reading goal. It's more of a community goal of I want to be able to participate where it feels natural and where I can support my friends and other fellow creators. I also want to make the content I'm most excited about. And a lot of times that's stuff that I think about and I want to start making it right away. Because the moment I have that brainstorm moment is the moment I'm the most excited about that video concept. If I sit on it and wait around until it can get shoved into a TBR or work around this goal or that goal or whatever else is going on, then by the time I get to it, I might not be excited for that concept anymore. And I think it's more fun for all of us if I'm making content I'm the most excited about. And I feel like really strict reading goals of like what genres I'm going to read, whether I'm going to focus on series that I'm already in, backlist books, etc., etc., will limit being able to follow my creativity in content planning. When I'm making stuff that I'm excited about, the videos are better. And when the videos are better, you have more fun watching them. So it's a win-win all the way around. I think also leaning into mood reading and leaning into kind of just how the year progresses naturally will bring a higher quality of reads to my yearly read. If I'm reading the books I want to read, or the books that in that moment fit my reading style at that moment, most likely they will be books I enjoy more. Obviously, there will be some misses. But in theory, we're focusing on quality over quantity, quality over specific checkpoints. That's what I want to focus on this year, is quality over quantity. That is what I want. This year, looking at 2024 in my reading, this is the lowest amount of 5 stars I've ever had in a year. And it's also one of my higher reading years at 200 plus books. So why are the books not as good as they have been in the past? Is it because I'm forcing myself to read things I don't want to read? I think so. Maybe I'm also getting a little bit pickier with my rating system, which is also possible. And also I added 0.5 stars this year. So some books that maybe I would have rolled up to a 5 got a 4.5. So there are some layers into why that's possible. But I do think part of the reason is that I'm forcing myself to read books that maybe later I would have enjoyed, but right now in the current time I'm picking them up, it's not what I want to be reading at that time. So we're going to prioritize quality and we're going to prioritize enjoyment over quantity. Also, kind of a part of participating in the community is I want to have more time to grow my community, which is here on this channel and also over at the Land of Fairy Tales Patreon. There are so many ideas that I have percolating in my head that I want to have time to do. And if I'm forcing myself to read certain books, that's taking time away from what I can be doing elsewhere, whether that be doing something over on the Patreon, doing something here on the channel, and even really doing things with my family. There's only 24 hours in a day and only so much time to be distributed to various different things. And I'm hoping this kind of creates a good mix of brainstorming and creativity and balance that I'm hoping not having really strict goals will allow me to have. I'm a person that if I say I'm going to do something, I am going to do it. I am going to do it to the best of my ability, even if it doesn't fit anymore with where I am in life. Once I commit, I commit. And that may be even a little bit of a character flaw, that I'm not able to pivot as much and I need to learn to be able to go with the flow a little bit more. So I'm hoping not having these hard, fast set things that I feel like I have to do will help me kind of be able to go with the flow a little bit more, help me to have a little bit more looseness in my reading and in my Booktube channel as a whole. Let's be honest, a year is a long time. It's a long time. And I'm sitting here in December and it's hard to know what a year is going to look like. 2 years ago, if you would have said, you're going to read a ton of romance in the year of 2023, I would have looked at you and went, no, I'm not. I don't read romance. And that year was my romance era. And I read so many romances because you just really don't know what's going to push you into a certain era or style of reading that you really prefer in that moment. Last year, I said it was going to be the year of sci-fi, and I did read a lot of sci-fi in the beginning of the year. Since about the middle, I haven't read basically any, so it wasn't not the year of sci-fi, but it really wasn't. I have leaned really into thick fantasy books with romances to clear my palate, and the occasional thriller, which is usually there because of B&K. Like, that's what I'm reading. I don't even remember the last time I picked up a sci-fi. It was probably 6 months ago. So I can say all these things in December. I can make a video saying, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. But realistically, I don't know what the year holds. So there's no point in putting myself up for failure with a list of things. And truthfully, I've been trying this out over the last month while doing Vlogmas. I'm letting myself just kind of pick up books as I want, or as buddy reads happen, because buddy reads happen very authentically. Sometimes they're planned in advance, but a lot of time it's Kelsey's reading a book and I have that book on my shelf. So, hey, I want to read it with you right now. I want to drop everything and read it. And I've been trying that through Vlogmas and I've been really enjoying it. And also, again, I do feel like I'm being more creative throughout that process. Just this week, during buddy read conversations that I've had with fellow creators, I've had 2 really fun ideas for things that you're going to see in the channel coming in the new year. And I cannot wait to make those things and do them with all of you and have you participate in these ideas. And I can't wait to see them come to fruition. And I can just already see that this freedom is actually allowing me to be more creative and to lean into a new phase of creativity here on Booktube. But along with being creative, I need the time to make those things and not having a very set number of reads that I have to read every single month to reach this, big goal at the end of the year, or a certain number of like mangas I had to read. That's just an example of one of my ones from last year, was that I wanted to read a certain number of mangas every month. Those things can cut into the time that I want to do these big projects that I have ideas for. I need the time to do them. So having too many things on the go at once makes it hard to have the time to do these more creative projects that I'm really excited and passionate about. So I'm going into next year with 0 reading goals other than the goal to enjoy reading as much as possible. Maybe my other goal, if you really want to look at it, is to participate in this community more and to enjoy my time in this community more this year. I would love to know, though, what you're doing for your reading year. Are you going the same road as me, kind of letting it flow? Do you have specific goals? And if that works for you, that's great. It has worked for me in the past. I'm just going into this year very differently for various reasons. So let me know kind of what you're doing down in the description box below. I love seeing how we all tackle the year and how we all tackle our reading differently. Thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to hear about your 2025 goals down in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.